All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. Today, we're going to be going over the campus digital signage powered by Appspace. And thank you for joining us. I'm Zach Peterson with the IT Training and Communications team. And I'm joined today by Ian Aberly, who's going to show us the basics of accessing Appspace Cloud, as well as getting signage set up and ready to go in your area. So before we get started, I just want to go over a little bit of administrative info for you. If you do have any questions for us today, please feel free in your Zoom client to click on the Q&A button on your software, and that will bring up a window where you can ask us a question. And if we do get some questions, we're going to try and answer all of those at the end of the initial presentation. So that is the one tip I can give you this morning, and then I'm going to hand it over to Ian to show you Appspace. Go ahead, Ian.
Thank you so much, Zach. Hello, everybody. This is Ian Aberly with Office of Information Technology at Southern Methodist University. Today, we're going to be talking about Appspace 7. So quite exciting. It feels like we were just doing this. We basically went through 2 sprints of upgrading from Appspace 5 to Appspace 6, and now we're at Appspace 7, all within a 6-month period. So it's quite exciting. What we have done is move our digital signage solution to the cloud, and so you can access it anywhere in the world just by logging in. So to get started, let's go to, if you go to smu.edu/appspace, you'll get this nice little landing page here and a button to log into the Appspace cloud. I'm just going to go ahead and click that button to log in now. And right now, everybody is logging in with their email that they had, email from their invite invitation. So for most of us, that will be using the mail.smu.edu extension. I'm going to go just type in my password here and log in. And at this point, I will be dropped off at the landing page for my area. Now, this account is set up to access 2 different areas. One's the OIT area, but I'm going to go ahead and jump to a different network, in this case, the demo one. Now, some of you have access to edit content in multiple networks. Most of the networks are broken up into schools or departments. And if you have access to, say, student affairs, but also the residential comments, if you want to change the network for which you have content, you will just click on your icon over here on the right and click on the network that you're currently in and choose the new one, and then just click apply. With Appspace 6, that was one of the new features that we got enabled. We have a few people who have access to multiple networks, and that's how they're going to manage and move between content. Now, here's our dashboard. What you'll see is this is a lot lighter than previous dashboards I've shown you before, because this role basically has a very limited permissions in Appspace, and so they can basically edit content and add content to a sign, but they do not have permissions to add users or delete devices. So most of us will all have this kind of look and feel when we get into Appspace. Now, some of the areas or locations for our content has changed in this new version. So let's go ahead and go through some of that now. Over in the right-hand side, or sorry, left-hand side, if you click the little drop-down menu here, you'll see that we have our dashboard, our channels, our library, and then any kind of system features here that we have access to. So there's support directly right here. The library, where all of our content is stored. Take a second to load anything there. The dashboard, which we were just on, and of course the channels. The channels is where we had all of our content previously, and in this you will see any kind of channel groups or channels that are there. Any signs would show up in this area. Now, right now, this user has no signs, no content. but I do have full access to the library. So if there was an existing channel, it would show up here, and I would have access to it. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up so that you can see that now. So let me go ahead and open another browser. Which am I in currently? Firefox. Let me just jump to Edge here. And I will jump to that same demo network. Okay. So one of the things we've been talking about with Appspace is roles and permissions, and a lot of that has changed, and we've kind of gone to using channels that are already there. If I go back and on my, jump to my OIT there. There we go. So you see right now I have access, these are all the signs and channels that I have access to. One of the things with the structure in Appspace of user accounts is there's content producers, which allow you to basically upload and add any content to your sign. There's content admins, which basically gets to approve any content or and add content to the sign. So you basically get to manage any signs. The downside of those is they can only work with signs that are existing. So in this case, I can work with any one of these signs in here with my limited role account. So for most everybody, that is going to be just fine. You already have a sign that's attached to your digital signage in your area. You already have this channel, which was previously called signs before in that space. And so you can go in and add and edit any of that content there. The only downside is if you need to actually create a new sign. And for that, you will need a network admin role. The downside of that is the network admins can also invite users into the system and delete devices from the system. And we had a few issues in the past with users adding adding people we didn't know to the signage system, which caused problems because they didn't get any kind of communications about it, but also we just didn't know who actually had access to that sign because people were inviting other people. And the other one was that people would accidentally try to come here, and instead of deleting their sign, they were deleting their device, which means in some cases we'd have to have a tech physically come out there to the sign and reconnect it with the Appspace system. So we're trying to find a balance between those. But as you can see, one of the downsides there is if permissions have not been granted for a sign, then that they cannot edit any of the sign content that's there. So in this case, if I go to my users here, as an admin, I can actually add a user and invite them to have access to one of the digital signs. Once it loads. There we go. Let me go ahead and edit this user group. So there's the content producer. And that would be the role that if I added somebody to this group and invited, that would be the role they have. So right now, everybody who is in Appspace by default has that role of content producer and content admin. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to this other role. So editing content in a sign that already exists is how most of us are going to actually deal with this. There are the signs that we're used to, which are now called channels. And those channels are basically an advanced channel. Or listed advanced channel, and that gives you all the features that you're used to. So you can add slides, you can add interactive elements, you can do custom layout designs and add any kind of interactivity. That is all done in the advanced channel. Now, what Appspace is trying to move to is a more friendly way of uploading and managing content, and that is just what's called a playlist channel. And in that, only the content, any content that's added will automatically play. And then once it's done, it will play the next thing. So in this case, we have the Yule log here. And I can go ahead and click on this channel, and you can see right now this U-log has one video that plays for 44 minutes, and once it's done, it will go on to the next thing in the channel. So let's go ahead and edit this channel here. If I have content already in my library, I can select that by just clicking Add. And in this case, there's no library content here, but there is actually a whole bunch of assets here in the Commons library. So there's a bunch of creative assets that, let's see, logos, anything? There we go. So we have logos in here. We have some RSS cards here. We have some information. Nope, nothing there. Anything that's unassigned? It should be hundreds of things here. Give it a second to load. There we go. So all kinds of stuff that's available there. And then I can also upload any new content too by just clicking the upload media. So for right now, let's go ahead and start off with, yeah, let's just add a couple images here. So I'm going to go ahead and add this say something, and let's go ahead and find, let's see, it's Happy Holidays sign. We'll go ahead and add that one, and we'll add a couple of these posters here. So I'll add those here. And click Add. They get added to the playlist. There we go. Great. And then if I'm ready to preview it, I can. So the preview will show you what's showing. You can easily advance to the next slide. There's the video. The video plays. And if I like the way it looks, all I have to do is easily come over here and say, do you want to publish this channel? So I go ahead and say yes, and save. There we go. That's how easy it is now to add and manage content on your channel. Now, like I said, most of the stuff we have before is an advanced channel. So that's going to be edited just like we have previously. So let's go ahead and look at one of those. All right. So if I go to edit here, you can see I have a couple of layouts here that are already there, but I can now go ahead and add a new layout. Call this one slides. There we go. Now, what you'll notice is, I don't know if you will notice, but this has loaded without any notification for needing a plugin. One of the things we're most thankful for is this current version as of December 1st no longer requires the use of the Flash plugin, which is wonderful. So most people, they get to this point, that spinning screen would just stay, or the spinning icon would just stay spinning and could not add their content. With this now, it automatically will load, and allow you to start creating right away. So if I wanted to add media, I can just click add media. Again, I'm going to go to that common library here. There's all that stuff in unassigned. Now what I'll tell you is when we uploaded all or migrated all the content from the previous version on our premise to the cloud version, all the slides or in any of the layouts automatically got dumped into this folder. So if there's something you're missing, it's probably in here, but there is over 3,700 items in this folder to choose from. But I'm just going to go ahead and choose those same slides I chose before just by clicking the little check boxes. And it is kind of slow to load because of that, because it's loading all those slides. But we'll bring those in. And did I hit cancel? There it goes. There we go. And then just go ahead and click save. Once I hit save, it will push it out to the devices in about 30 seconds or so, and then the content on your device will be updated. So there is a little lag while it does that, but you'll actually see a preview of the slides changing right here. It goes between them, and I think the setup right now is to be every 12 seconds. So pretty much exactly like we've been editing all the content we have before. So if you are just putting up a slideshow like this, you're not doing any interactive content or anything like that. You're just putting slide up. The channel, the new channel playlist is going to work really well for you because you can easily just add those slides in and then go back and edit that layout and then just publish it. All right, so but if you want to have things like your weather widgets and stuff like that, the advanced one is going to provide that for you. So if I wanted to add like this little clock widget, click OK, and I'll go ahead and move it down here. It's kind of hard to see, so I can change the properties and put it in black, and the same thing for the time. Apply, then apply those changes. There we go. There's my new clock showing up there. So if I want to add those kind of features, then the advanced sign is going to allow us to do that. So it really is kind of deciding how you're going to manage your sign and how you're going to manage your content. So this goes back to what I was talking about just a few minutes ago, is the permissions issue. So if you want to change what kind of sign you have, then you need the network admin. And so for us, we're working with the vendor to try to find a solution that makes a right balance between the two. Because the way their methodology is set up is that the network admin would basically oversee all the signs and then can make those kind of creative controls. But for them, it also meant inviting users and adding and removing devices. So trying to find the right balance for that is the issue. So we can easily make you a network admin. That's not an issue, but we just want to be sure that you're not inviting users and accidentally deleting signs. Those are the big issues. So right now, everybody's been given the content producer and content admin permissions. But if you need to change devices or change what sign is playing on a device, or sorry, channel is playing on a device, then we need to add somebody in your area. So for the library, right now, Tyson Seal, he is the network admin for that area. He can change what shows up on their digital signs. But most everybody else who's producing content or adding content to the signs is already in the role of content admin and content producer. So we just need to designate somebody in each area. So this is a great, like I said, we're quickly moved into this role or into this new version and just trying to get up to speed with everything. And let's go ahead and save that. There we go. Again, like I said, once you make that change to your save, with the save, it'll take about 30 seconds for it to show up on the sign. All right, so let's go back to those channels. So the U log we edited just a minute ago, but now it's like, okay, you know, I have something here and it's showing, but I don't want that to stay up there forever. I can actually disable it by just clicking this little ... and click disable, and that will automatically hide it. I can resort it by clicking and dragging. So if I want that one to show up first, of course, if I want it to show up, I guess would need to enable it. So turn that on. And then if you click on the actual image, let's see if it'll let me do it. Oh, sorry, click on the, there we go, the 8 seconds here. Let me click on one a little further down. Let me move it down so everybody can actually see what I'm doing. All right, if I click on the 8 seconds here, this allows you to change the transition of how that slide comes in. So just like in PowerPoint, you have several options here. One is none. It just kind of bam appears like that. The fade will fade in. Left swipe, right swipe, of course, the slide will slide in from those areas. As you can see, a bunch of stuff. Default fade is fine for us. The aspect ratio, that's going to be how it fills up the content. So the uniform fill means that if you have a image that you took with your DSLR and you threw it up on Appspace, most of that image content is going to be a 4:6 ratio. The digital signs we have on campus is a 16:9 ratio, so they don't match up. So a uniform fill will fill up that space, cropping off the sides of your image to fill in that space. There's the fill, which will go ahead and stretch it or squeeze it to fit the 16:9 ratio. And then there's the uniform, which will just keep it basically uniform. So say exactly like it is. And then, so the uniform would fill it up, and then there would be, for the 4:6, would fill in the space, and then there would be on the sides, there would be black bars. The uniform fill, again, which is the default, would, that same 4:6 would fill the space, and it would crop off the very edges. You can also change the content duration. How long you want that individual slide to stay up is all available right here. By default, you can see everything is set for 8 seconds. Previously, with the advanced signs and the slide content, in those were set to 12 seconds. So they shorten the duration. And then scheduling. You can actually schedule a start and end date for your sign. In this case, if I wanted to make sure that it would not play past December 31st, I can add that in. And then just click apply. There we go. December 31st at the time, click apply there. And so that's scheduled. And so what will happen is on January 1st, that content would no longer show up. As easy as that. So you don't have to go in and remove it. It'll automatically be disabled at that time. Yep, there we go. So for a lot of people, this might be easier. So what we'll have to do is get, if you want to take advantage of it, just email the help desk at help@smu.edu and say, I currently have access to Appspace, but I'd like to create new sign channels. Can I be made a network admin? And poof, we can easily do that for you. But as you can see, very easy, very quick to add content. Now, under an add content as network admins, or sorry, as content admins, you have, as you can see, the ability to go in and upload stuff or create new content too. So if I wanted to just go ahead and create a card here. The cards are basically pre-built templates that you can use to add stuff to your digital sign. It's very nice, very easy. So if we did this a couple days ago, I could easily use the birthday one for myself, but let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and choose that. So if you want to celebrate something here, it's not Zach's birthday, but we'll use Zach here. There we go. You can actually do all kinds of stuff there. You can customize the background. It's this lovely magenta color, but if you choose something else, you can. You can just kind of click and drag here. Oh, that one's actually kind of nice. Click that. And then if you have a logo or something like that, you can add that here. You can drag and drop or browse your library for any of that. And then just click next. Give it a title. You can even say what day it's going to expire on. Click save. There we go. And then just, so not only I didn't have to go to PowerPoint, create a slide or Photoshop, create a slide and upload it. I did it right here within the Appspace system. And now I can easily add it to my digital sign just by clicking add. There we go. It's added to this. I can then just go to preview if I want to preview it. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Quick and easy. All right. Let's go ahead and add some more content too. So I'm going to click add here. Let's go ahead and create another card. I love these cards. This is a great feature. As somebody who spent a lot of time in Photoshop and in design and everything like that, it's just being able to nice and quick and easy to be able to do something directly in the system. I don't have to save it out, upload it, and do something. So there's all kinds of information here. So there's achievement message, announcements. This is the old announcement that I used to show in the the demo that was just 3 or 4 months ago, is now obsolete, as you can see here. There's this new announcement message here, the corporate message. You can see all kinds of things here, recognition, a lot of great little default. You can even have a slideshow. So if you did want to add a slideshow within a slide, you can do that too. So lots of stuff right here that you can just easily add content to. So so like the emergency message here, I can go ahead and put this in. And so right now we're having lots of areas on campus that will be cycling through power outages. So you can actually create a message here. And get a nice long message to let people know what's going on with this alert. I'm not going to save this one. I'm just going to go ahead and click back. Let's go ahead and select another one here. Say there's a event on campus or some live. Well, we just recently, unfortunately, had a funeral. If you wanted to show content from that, if you know a website that was streaming it, you can actually paste in the URL for that site here. So I'm going to just go ahead, in this case, go just use the smu.edu one. There we go. And I click next. Title again. And save. There we go, and I can go ahead and add that into my channel. So if you've launched like a revision to your website or an area inside your school or department has launched something new, and you have up on your web the information on your website, you can actually post that live website directly up on your site. If we click preview here, you will actually see, it should load in a second there. Click play there. The SMU one will be interesting to see how that plays out because we do have that giant video that now plays. So it'll be interesting. It looks like the cards aren't showing there. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and add one more here. We'll go ahead and create one more card while we're in this space. The support message, real text. The social media by Signage. This is actually a nice one to get around the issue if, say, you want to show some of your social media stuff, your Twitter, Facebook posts, anything like that. You can actually click that. And the only downside is you actually have to create an account with Signage. So let me go ahead and log into mine. And the free account gives you access to, let's see if that's it. No, that's not it. Try this one more time. It's not going to do it. All right, so it's not going to do it, but I've already created this because I forgot to write down my password for this. Sorry about that. But what it does, if I just go back to, click back here, will automatically pull in you can kind of build out a interactive feed of your social media channels. And just so happens I already have one, and it is, let's see. Should have one. On the other system. I bet it's on the other system. Yeah. Okay. Well, so it actually creates like an interactive like flipbook, origami, if you're familiar with the origami slideshow on the Mac OS. And it will actually create little grids of slides that can flip through. Let me slip over back to this one. Oh, got disconnected. Never mind. But the thing is, you do have to create an account. The free account allows you to create one Signage card stack, and you can pull in social media for multiple channels. You can pull in hyperlinks, if it's specific hyperlinks you want to pull in, and you can pull in those kind of things, and then it will shuffle and show that content up on your card. Very nice, very friendly. All right, but let's go ahead and add some content that we didn't build with a card. So if I wanted to upload something, I can click upload media, and I can just drag and drop my files, or click select files here. And I think I have some things here. So I can go ahead and click those. Go. And they will begin to upload to our digital sign. There we go. Go ahead and hit save. Boom. Now because we're dealing with the cloud now, things do take a slight bit longer than they did before locally to upload. But once you get those uploaded, they will all be there and available for you. All right. And before selected, I can go ahead and add those. They get added to my channel. There we go. So again, I have content and it would automatically go between one slide and the other. One thing I want to remind you of is that when you create any video or any content for your digital sign, you want to go ahead and try to keep it at 1920 wide by 1080 high. If you say get content from one of the vendors you're working with, you want to post on your site, or one of your photographers for an event, you want to put those up. You don't want to put up the full raw image. You do want to scale it down to fit those dimensions. If the image is too large, it will not play back. It will allow you to upload it. It will allow you to add it to the channel. But when it gets to it, it will not play it if the file size is too large. So you do want to go ahead and rescale things to fit that size. Same thing with video. You do want to limit your video size to 1080. And for compression, if you're using the Adobe Media Encoder, which is available to any campus university-owned machines through Landesk or Avanti Workspace Manager, you can download it. One of the presets there is a YouTube 1080p or a Vimeo 1080p. Either one of those, if you select those, will compress it down to a good size to be put up into Appspace and play back without a lot of problems on the digital signage. All right. Ping images will come over with their transparency. So if you do want to put them up over another image, it will show up. If we're playing this, of course, using the in the playlist, it will just show up as an image with a white background. But if I was building something out with the Advanced Manager or as a card using that image, then the transparency would show through. So for example, let's go ahead and build out a new card. And let's use where's that green one? There we go. Information. So we can use this one. If I want to add a logo, it'll be kind of small. Boop. There it is. It'll bring over that transparency and show up there. If I wanted to upload a media file, I can browse my library. There's my media file. There's my background. There we go. And so you can see the transparency. We got a video background. So there is some customization you can easily do within any of these cards. Okay, one more I want to show. Let's go back while we're here. So the RSS feed, this is one of my favorites because it allows you to add content and have it dynamically update on a regular basis with the content from your digital sign to your digital sign. So in this case, I have a URL here. I can put in here, validate. And it should, they're pulling in the content. There we go. Showed my feed images. Those are going to come in. You can change the interval as needed. And again, you can upload a logo. Or something as needed. So you can also change, I don't know if you notice here, you can also change the text style too. So if you don't like the text style that's currently, you can actually choose a different font. That's all available here. I like Georgia. Let's go ahead and choose that. And then I can go ahead and change my text color if I wanted to too. Probably don't want to do that. I want to be able to at least see it. And then, yeah, so you have lots of options here to change it. And then you can just go ahead and hit next. And give it a name. Oh, while we're here, let me go ahead and show you a couple other things. So these cards, just like our content in our library, we can actually set these cards to expire too. So the one for Zach's birthday, we can go ahead and schedule that one to automatically schedule a day or two after his birthday. We can also add a description here about any of the information that would be helpful. So we can say RSS feed card. This keyboard. Awesome. There we go. There we go. So you can add that there. If you want to add a different thumbnail, it will automatically be generated by the content of your card. But if you have a custom one you want to put up, you can do that too. And then content tags, you can actually tag things. So for this, I tend to like to use something like card and then RSS, just so that I can keep track of cards. So I can easily search that library of images that is now at over 3,000, and I can type in card and RSS and it will pull up just those. Go ahead and hit save. All right, and then click add to add it to my channel. There we go. Quick preview. And this is pulling in live content from our blog. As you can see, it's showing content for December 12th. So it's pulling in that content right now as we speak. If it has images that are set up as a featured image in your blog, that image will be pulled over and show up in your as an image here in the slideshow. So we'll continue to play that and then go to the next one. And then if I'm ready to go live, I just click on publish and yep, it's already set up to publish. Yes, go ahead and publish it. All right, so I think I kind of hit most of the highlights here. Let me double check my notes and see if there's something I wanted to make sure I covered to get you up and going with Appspace. Like I said, the channels is really the future of where Appspace is going. It's with those channels. And specifically the playlist channel. For creating content, the card is an extremely useful feature for quickly adding content to your digital sign. Please feel free to look back at any of our other webinars on Appspace, especially the last one where I went directly into doing more card stuff. but I just wanted to go ahead and stop so that we have some time to answer any questions. So thanks.
All right, and thank you, Ian. So I do have one question. If you could just really quickly run through again how to access creating a card within a channel on the page.
Oh, sure.
Because someone has said that when they go into this page, they do seem to get an interface that looks more like the old Appspace.
Okay. So right now I'm in the directly in the channel. Now I do not have to, while I've created content directly in here, I do not have to do it directly in the channel area. I can actually create that content within the library. So the way I have been doing it is just clicking the add here and then selecting creating the card directly from here. But I can actually click here under library if I'd like to be a little more organized. I can go to my account or where I'm going to do it. In this case, I'll start with OIT here, and I can click add and I can create a card here, which again will give me the access to any of these cards to create. If you're using, if I go back to my channels, one of the older, so that's, I was using the playlist channel. If you use the advanced channel like this test app here, and I go, and there we go, click on edit, I click add, I'll have to add a layout. And at this point, when I click add media, this is when I can then add a card that already exists. It's going to be, of course, under the unassigned, because that's the other thing to note. If you create from the playlist channel, create new content from anywhere other than within the library, it automatically gets dropped into the unassigned folder. If you create it from the library, you can actually organize it a little and have a little more structure. But so there's my card there. I can then click that and add that to my layout. I can also, because I can, with the layout, I can have multiple items on a layout. It does not have to take up the entire space. So I can add other content here and still have this card floating in the side. But if I did want to go ahead and have it fill up the space, I just go ahead and, again, put in that 1920 that I mentioned earlier and the 1080. And I'll fill up that entire screen. So I hope that helps. If not, let Zach know. And we'll...
All right, and yes, it was helpful. So excellent. So thank you for that question. And I don't have any other questions at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and say last call. If you do have any questions before we wrap up this webinar, please put them in the chat or inside of the Q&A section of your software. And one more thing real quick, how do you make a playlist, a brand new fresh playlist?
Brand new fresh playlist, yes. So that will have to be done with the person who's the network admin in your area can create a new playlist channel. But to do that, let's go ahead and jump over to the other app browser here. And let me go ahead and log in again. Oh, come on. Let's try this again. I'm missing a letter. There we go. All right. So to create a new one, so we've been playing in OIT. We'll just jump to there. So your network admin will be able to go to channels and click the create to create a new channel. At this point, they're given the option of what kind of channel they want to create. So the advanced channel is basically everything we've been dealing up with for the last 5 years. It's been an advanced channel. It lets you create the custom layouts, add the widgets, all that is all done as an advanced channel. To create a playlist channel where you can just browse content and folder from your library, and just basically it runs one after another, which from looking at most people's signage on campus, this tends to be how most signage is done. It's basically the quickest and easiest way is the playlist channel, and you just create, you give it a name, and then you can go ahead and click, then it's available. If there also is a live channel, so if you have content that you have a HLS stream or multicast stream, if you know what those are, good for you. You can create a live channel which would show live channel content. The other thing too is that you can actually combine some of these channels to create like a super channel too. So you can pull in content from multiple channels to create an even larger. You can add it into your playlist channel, but we haven't really dived really deep into any of the live content stuff. That's something we'll be looking at in the new year. There's been some questions recently, people were asking how to do that, and we will be investigating some more of that next year. But yeah, the two, the advanced channel, which is what we've dealt with, like I said, the last 5 years, and then the new playlist channel, which is more advanced version of the used to be called a basic sign in the old Appspace. But again, it's much more robust now than just the basic one. So again, it's just a playlist. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and then loops back around. So very quick and easy. Also want to just make sure there are some people who've had questions about getting access to Appspace. Everybody who had logged into the system on our on-premise environment within the last year was invited to the new Appspace cloud environment. We had were able to reduce the number of users by 50% from people who didn't ever accept their invite or never logged in. But if you do need to have access to your digital sign, just again, contact the help desk at help@smu.edu or have your supervisor contact the help desk at help.smu.edu. And ask that you get permissions to your digital signage. We just need to know what network and what your content information is. Any other questions there, Zach?
I do not, and we are running a little short of time, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But if you do, again, have any questions about the Appspace system, please feel free to contact the IT help desk at 214-768-HELP or send them an email to help@smu.edu. So that is going to wrap it up for us today. And thank you so much for joining us, and have fun with Appspace. Thanks.